Alright, welcome back to Shem's Universe. So we're going to discuss name number 9 now. Sorry guys, just on a break from work, so I have to have the mask, etc. It's new looks, you know. So we're going to go through number 9. It's a very, very unique number in numerology. The reason why I say it's unique is for some simple facts. Like number 9, mathematically speaking, first off, is the only number that literally has some very unique properties of multiplication and also in addition. Starting off with addition, whatever number goes to 9 is going to turn back into that number. Meaning, let's do 9 plus 1, that equals 10. That brings it back to a base number of 1. 9 plus 2 is 11, brings it back to a base number of 2. And you guys can get it. If you do the addition, you'll see how it goes forward and forward and forward. And you keep getting the same thing. Meaning that when you have like a 9, for instance, like a life path number or birth number, it usually takes on the characteristics of the number that's next to it in influence. So when you have like a 9 like with an 8, the person might show more of the 8's characteristics, than the 9. They'll still have aggression and so forth, like the Mars that 9 gives, but they'll still incorporate a lot of what the other number is offering as well. If you look at it again in math, when you see the multiplication, it gets even more interesting, because then when you multiply any number by 9, the base number adds to 9. 9 times 2 is 18, adds to 9. 9 times 3 is 27, adds to 9. 9 times 4 is 36, adds to 9. 9 times 5 is 45, adds to 9. And you get it. It just keeps going. It's a very, very interesting number, and it shows that it has a very unique vibrational essence. 9 is the completion number, as I've discussed in other videos. It's the number all about completing things and getting things done. So when you have this number there in your chart, especially as a name number, you're going to be somebody who's very disciplined, militant, pragmatic, and very warlike. I shouldn't necessarily say pragmatic. The only reason why I shouldn't, sorry, I gotta wind down my window, guys. It's heat wave where I am right now. But I shouldn't really say pragmatic. The reason why is that the 9, even though they have these characteristics of being like warriors, they don't tend to use people. They're not very like utilitarian in that sense. They're very honorable, very idealistic. So let's say you have a name number of 9 per se. 9 just based by itself. What you're looking at is idealism, being somebody who has a warrior-like mentality, and somebody who's going to be able to overcome a lot of tribulations. 9 also usually attracts like a family that may necessitate you for financial means or emotional needs. So watch out for that definitely if you have this, because you have a humanitarian number. So it's considered that you guys are going to be able to be people that can actually motivate others to do better with their lives in a philosophical sense and also in a very materialistic sense as well. So if you have now the number 18, in the Eastern numerology, they have a very interesting definition for it. I mean, in Chinese as well, they say it means for sure rich. That's what 18 actually means. It's quite the opposite with the Indians and with the Egyptians. The Chaldean numerology states that the 18 is like it's like a mystic number. However, they say it's very hard to get financially ahead with this number as your name number. It's not very good. They don't actually recommend it for anybody. I would argue that I think the properties of the number 1 and the 8 going into 9 are extremely beneficial for anybody. Their definition of it talks about bankruptcies, having to walk around with weapons to protect yourself, being a specialist with machinery. But I truly believe that the 18 is more so what the Chinese are saying, because that makes more sense. You'd have leadership capacity alongside a very business sense of way of doing things, the transactional relationships, and that adds to the 9 that gives you that warrior sense. The next one up is going to be the 27. The 27 composes of 2, which is the moon, 7, which is Kietu, which then goes to 9. All 3 of these numbers is highly spiritual, meaning you're going to have somebody who is more like a yogi than anything else. I remember discussing with you guys during the number 5 name video, the number 23, and I said that these people get very materialistically ahead, but they're detached from it. The number 27 is very, very similar with that, except it doesn't necessarily get materialistically ahead, but they can. This is more about like numerology. They master things like that. They end up mastering things like palmistry, like how you can read your palms and tell destiny. Telepathy, the 8 limbs of yoga. These are the things that they will specialize in inevitably. If you have like a name number, like your first name adds to that, or the name that you go by most adds to 27, definitely look into things that regard around spirituality and occultism, because you're going to specialize in that very, very easily. The next one up is the number 36. So when you get the number 36, you get 3, which is Jupiter, 6, which is Venus, I haven't discussed this before in prior videos, but they're inimical to each other, meaning their 3 is like a positive version of the number 6, 6 is the negative version. So they have both the same types of talents. However, actually I have brought this up. The 6 is just more so, they more so just get things brought to them, whereas the 3 is all about the male winner mentality, meaning they just go out and they get. They don't expect resources from others, they just get it all for themselves. It's a very, very impressive number, both of which have highly wealthy people. When that adds to 9, that's actually the triad of the numerology. It's 3, 6, and 9. So when these numbers come together in a name, you get somebody who is going to end up like teaching universities, you get professors, you get philosophical people, and very highly wealthy. They end up owning properties, land. It's a very, very good number to have. Again, the Chaldeans tried to argue that the vibrations of 3 and 6 will be kind of counterintuitive to each other and give you in bad youthful stages, but I would argue that that's not really true, and that if you know how to utilize those energies the way I've just stated, you'll definitely get ahead materialistically. The final number that I'd like to go over would be the number 45. I vibrate at this number if I just go by Shem, and if in the Western numerology way, when I just put it in as my expression number, it actually comes up as 45. Like I said, I more so look at the Chaldean one as I view it as more accurate, but it's still a fact that's there as well. The 45 consists of Rahu and then Mercury, which has 9. Rahu and Mercury are perfect. Rahu is more of an amplifier, so it's going to amplify the 5's abilities and the 9's. So that's why it gets very interesting here. So you get somebody that has good luck in like stocks, real estate, any type of investments, and anything to do with like communicating with a large number of people. These types of people that have the name number 45 always like to talk and express their opinions, and what they say ends up becoming the public opinion. So very, very good number to have. It's considered a benefit across all brands of numerology. So if you have that name, you don't need to do anything with it. Just keep it going the way you have it, and you should definitely be good to go. So in regards to the 9, like the 8 didn't have much archetypes. Like this one actually has very different ones. So if you happen to have like a 9 that's even above 45, I'd be happy to answer your questions. Just leave it in the comments for me, and I'll just deal with you individually on whatever name vibration you do have there. Okay, guys? But that will end number 9 in my videos for today. We'll definitely continue tomorrow, and I'll get into the karmic numbers. Okay, guys? So thank you very much for your time, and I look forward to seeing you guys soon again. Thank you.